Well, I'm really pleased to be joined on Not the Andrew Marr Show by Vera Polycarpou, who's the head of international relations and European policy at AKEL, and is a member of the General Council of the Cyprus Peace Council. The reason I've asked you to come on the show is because there's a lot of rumours and kind of stories that we don't know anything of. We don't know the facts about on Cyprus and what's happening with Cyprus's involvement in some way with the Gaza genocide. And we've got a story that came out on Al Jazeera's website here. The UK's alleged use of Cyprus bases to arm Israel and hit Yemen draw protests. Monitors and media reports claim Britain is supplying Israel's army for its war in Gaza from military bases in Cyprus.
The event from which Al Jazeera's reports and the photograph is from the event that was organized by the demonstration that was organized by the Cyprus Peace Council on the 14th of January outside the Raf Akrotiri it's a military airport. What we know, I mean, we don't have in detail the information that you can find at Declassified UK. There they have in detail all the flights with hours and kind of aircraft that were used. What we know is that there's a permanent and very intense activity at the airport. And from all that indications that we have and the information that we have been able to come across through Declassified and with what we have on the ground, is that these flights have been actually made between Akrotiri and Tel Aviv mainly, where all information says that they have been flying out bombs and all kinds of military equipment and ammunition that was needed or is still needed by Israel. There's some other reports that come from Europe saying that the US have been gathering resources from their bases across Europe to Raf Akrotiri, and from there on they were flown both by US and UK planes to Tel Aviv, to Israel. There was also a flight that was recorded by Declassified from Incirlik, Turkey to Akrotiri, and from there on to Tel Aviv. The fact is that, as you know, 37% of our island is under Turkish occupation since 1974. So there's complete disrespect of the sovereignty of Cyprus in that case, also by flying from Turkey to Cyprus, a US aircraft bringing this to Cyprus, and then on to Turkey. So directly, the Republic of Cyprus is not involved, of course, in the genocide. It's the use of the British bases that we're talking about, the so-called sovereign British bases, that since Cyprus got its independence in 1960, Britain still has 3% of our land as sovereign British bases. And there are two such bases. One is the Akrotiri and Episkopi, and Akrotiri is an enormous, it's an airport, it's a military airport with barracks, etc. And there has been information in the last 3 or 4 years that there is a base within a base, a secret one, a US base for helicopters, supposedly to be used for evacuation in case of a big war in the region. And there are also US troops based there. And after the 7th of October, it was made official that the UK brought in 500 more troops from British troops to base them here, supposedly in case they would need to evacuate British citizens from the region. They have another base in the Gelia, which is bordering the occupied area. It's bordering the Turkish occupied area. And there are a lot of installations across the island, and on the top of the highest mountain, of the Troodos mountain, these are radars and spying installations. We have been protesting against the existence of the British bases since 1964. It's not new that we are protesting. And the fact that since 1974 we have also 37% of our island occupied by Turkey, another NATO member, that is building bases. And they've just announced that another airport at the Lefkoniko, in an occupied area of Cyprus, they are opening the drone base with spying material and equipment there, plus the latest F-16 planes that the US Congress is giving away to Turkey again, will be based here. So the anger that we have is overall against the fact that we don't want Cyprus to be militarized. This stops our efforts to reunify our island, to reunify the Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots who have been artificially divided. We want our island to be a bridge of peace in the area. We don't want to be a military base. And this is a general feeling of the population. The bombing of the Houthis of Yemen, as announced by the British Minister of Defense, started from Cyprus, from the Akrotiri air base. They flew out from here. So, and everybody understands that this puts Cyprus into the map of danger.
Yeah.
And also the fact that now the sea route arriving to Cyprus from the Gulf of Aden is somehow blocked. This has brought up the prices already in Cyprus. It might be artificial, but this is an excuse maybe that prices are brought up for many equipment, materials, mainly refrigerators and things like that that come from that region, from Asia. And the impact, the financial impact is here. So people realize departing from different angles that this is not to our benefit, and that Cyprus should not be involved in any way in this planning. Plus the fact that Cyprus is suffering occupation, the fact that colonialism is also here. Turkey has been bringing settlers to the occupied area of Cyprus since 1974. And the Turkish Cypriot community as such is in real danger of losing its identity because of the presence of Turkish settlers. And their religion, the Erdogan's ideas about religion, and I don't need to explain that to you. They try to impose that on the Turkish Cypriot community. And also in the sphere of education, etc. Turkish Cypriot community is very civic. It's not religious at all, and they try to impose on it something new. So the fact that we have been suffering of colonialism by Turkey and occupation, we understand much better what is happening to the Palestinians over the years. And the fact that we have in Cyprus, at that time of 1974, 1/3 of the population was made refugees in our own country, displaced. I myself am a refugee, and my family is a refugee from the occupied area. So we know what it is to be uprooted from your land. We understand the Palestinians maybe better than many others, plus the fact that we are just 400 kilometers away from Gaza. And I can tell you much more about the training of the Israeli pilots over Cyprus.
Please do, please.
They have been training over the years, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. They use our airspace to do that. They used to be trained over the Turkish airspace. And lately they have been training, flying, if you see the map of Cyprus from Troodos down, it's like simulating bombing Gaza.
Wow.
That's how we see it. And also they have been training commandos here because the terrain is very similar to the terrain in southern Lebanon. So, yes.
So you I mean, you're seeing a lot of stuff that shows Israel has been planning this for some time. You think? Do you suspect that, as you say, training to bomb like in a way they're doing Gaza and with Lebanon as well? I mean, they're constantly looking at military activity and stuff, aren't they?
I don't think that Israel has ever stopped that. I mean, if you see how many times they have bombed and attacked, I won't call it a war because there's no other side to it. They have been bombing and attacking Gaza since 2008. They have been constantly doing it and preparing for that. And as to southern Lebanon, the same. Since when they lost in 2006, and was the first time that they lost ground that they had won through war, they have been planning to go back to that. And as you know, Israel doesn't have borders, declared borders. So expansionism is always on the agenda.